So I was reading this today in 2 Samuel chapter 23, and the heading of it is David's last words. It's an oracle of David for really a sense of sort of a response to the life he's lived. And it says this: the oracle of David, the son of Jesse, the oracle of the man who was raised on high, the anointed of the God of Jacob, the sweet psalmist of Israel. And here's what he writes. The Spirit of the Lord speaks by me. His word is on my tongue. The God of Israel has spoken. The Rock of Israel has said to me, when one rules justly over men, ruling in the fear of God, he dawns on them like the morning light, like the sun shining forth on a cloudless morning, like rain that makes grass to sprout from the earth. Does not my house stand so with God? For he has made me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things and secure. For will he not cause to prosper all my help and my desire? But worthless men are like thorns that are thrown away, for they cannot be taken with the hand. But the man who touches them arms himself with iron, and the shaft of a spear they are utterly consumed with fire. Now, I read that, and I think of what David is writing about himself. The Spirit of the Lord speaks to me, and he goes on and he says, when one rules justly over men, ruling in the fear of God. And I think this is a man who had one of his men killed so that he could sleep with his wife, or he had slept with his wife, and then in order to cover it up, had him killed. And then shortly after this is written, he's going to take a census that is not authorized by God that is going to result in the death of 70,000 people of Israel. So I'm thinking, how can he write, when one rules justly over men, ruling in the fear of God? Verse 5, for does not my house stand so with God? For he has made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things and secure. So how can he write that with all that he's done? The reason is the grace of God. The reality is that for David, God had made a covenant with him. So he can say that God is with him and that he has ruled justly, not because in the entirety of his life he has ruled justly, but because in the midst of the failures that he has committed, the overarching narrative of his life for David was a pursuit of either pursuing God or finding his way back to God. And that was the reality for David. That's why David could be called a man after God's own heart. That's why God would keep a covenant with this man, because his heart was to pursue God or to pursue a return to God when he failed. But that same promise, that same grace is extended to us as God's people through the blood of God's Son, Jesus Christ. In the same way that David can say those things, we can say those same things as well, because we are living under the covenant made through the promise of God to deliver us from sin through his Son, Jesus Christ. And as such, we can have the same posture as David. We can say that we rule justly, not because of the things that we've done or not done, but because of our heart to pursue God and the power of the Holy Spirit, and our desire to pursue God when we fail, when we need to return back to God. So could I encourage you today, as you watch this, may you consider that particular section of 2 Samuel 23 and place yourself in that narrative and think about, where is your heart right now? Is it in a state of pursuing a deeper, more intimate relationship with God, which is very necessary? And is it in a posture of pursuing to return back to God in the ways where you have walked away from him? And you can go down both of those tracks in parallel together, because there may be areas of your life where you are pursuing God, and there may be areas of your life, I know there is in mine, where I need to also be pursuing a return back to God. Would you consider doing that today, as we make Christ, the one who gives us the ability to do that, our ultimate treasure?